Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the 343iCommunity community forum Let's Play of XCom 2. My name is Red Star Rocket, and when I left you last time, we were just preparing to take on a guerrilla operation in East Africa, as this time we have a few options in terms of what we can do, as none of these dark events are particularly bad. This one reduces the alien facility counter by 2, but again, that doesn't really matter because we have access to most of the map now. This one adds a pip to the Avatar project, but we're at 0 pips right now, so again that doesn't matter. And the one in the Eastern US increases the cost of recruits, but we already have a couple of spare soldiers at this point, so that's one that really doesn't matter. So really we're looking at rewards now, and we're getting engineer from this one, which is, I suppose, an acceptable reward, but it's not hugely useful for us at this point in time. And of course, being at the end of the tech tree here, we don't really need scientists, so we may as well go for intel at this point, no harm in that. But before we do go there, we are quickly going to head to our proving ground, and we're just going to commission a bit more stuff here. So I think we're going to go for either a warsuit or a wraith suit. I haven't decided which yet. I think we'll probably go with the warsuit, just because it's always good to have a couple extra of them on hand. And then we'll probably get a wraith suit as well.
Interesting choice. I'll send word as soon as we're finished, Commander.
Or not, as apparently we're out of Illyrium cores. There we go. So with that in mind, we are now free to head to this guerrilla operation. And fortunately, there's not a huge number of enemies here. Obviously, there's a couple of nasty ones that gate people in particular. Maybe a bit of an issue. So we need to be prepared to deal with that. But beyond that, there's nothing hugely horrendous. A couple of codexes might cause a bit of trouble. Heavy mechs occasionally have caused trouble, but again, we can deal with those as they come.
Setting course for Sector 12, East Africa.
And there we go. This is the dark event we're currently trying to block, I believe. So I don't know what will happen when we take this mission on now. I think we'll quickly head back and have a look at that.
Commander, the aliens continue to make progress on the Avatar project. If we're going to slow them down, we'll need to move fast.
Let's have a quick look here. Does this mean we've got a new hidden dark event? No, it's just another one. Right. Oops. So we'll just clear our squad here. And again, we are... not sure what's happened there. There we go. We're going to roll with the slightly underleveled squad. Once again, we'll put Drizzy in charge of this. And now that I think about it, I think we might have actually had our underleveled squad all ready to go there, but never mind. And I'm just looking at this. I think we have enough room to take everyone at this point who isn't already a colonel. So obviously this is a double sniper mission. I've said in the past, I tend not to be fond of those in XCom 2. But if you get one, you get one. And we already do have another warsuit, right, so we could potentially launch with up to 4 when that next one is complete, which obviously would be great. For the moment, I think we will put this on Church, just so that if ever he's in a position where we need him to move, he can step in with something nice and heavy and put plenty of damage on. Or at least he can once we've grown his legs back, which we'll do now. There we go. So in terms of overall equipment, Drizzy will be getting the Talon rounds if we can find them. Not sure quite what we'd give him. Don't think we'll give him the frost bomb. Slick as ever will be taking the plated vest. Church, not sure what we'll give him. AP rounds might be an idea. Probably going to go with tracer rounds actually, I think, just to make sure we're putting on maximum damage wherever possible. Yash, again, not sure what he will get. He'll almost certainly take the Mimic Beacon, as he's likely to be in close thanks to his power set. And we'll give him the AP rounds as well, I think. It'll be those or Venom, and I think AP is generally slightly better for the sort of stuff he does, which means Jackdaw will be getting the Venom rounds. I don't think we have a scout in this squad, so she's probably going to be relegated to scanning duties for the duration of this mission. And for Drizzy, I'm not sure whether I'd like him to have a grenade or not. I think we'll give him a grenade and we'll just quickly pop a frostball on Maestro. So this will be our squad for this mission. Fairly reasonable composition, I'd say. So obviously we have 9 enemies, including a gatekeeper, which is going to be a bit of a pain to deal with, but we'll do what we can. And with that in mind, let's get started.
Sky Ranger deployed.
Squad green to deploy.
So this is Operation Knife Queen. It's a little shame we don't have Morrigan and her axe on this, otherwise it would be a very appropriate mission name, but never mind.
The Resistance operative managed to rig up some sort of data interception device through an access point on the Advent network running through here. The data is apparently critical to the aliens' latest operation, and they're already moving to destroy the device. We're heading in to make sure that doesn't happen. Take out any hostile targets nearby, secure the AO, and protect that device.
So we have here a fairly standard device protection mission. These tend not to be so bad, as the devices are usually pretty beefy in terms of how much punishment they can take. So there's no great hurry, and better still, we don't specifically have a time-limited mission objective. Obviously there is a soft time limit in terms of how quickly they destroy the device, but we're not really pushed to be making progress forward every turn, which plays to our sniper strengths just a little bit more. And I think we've started on the roof here, which would be good if we have.
Hostile forces are already moving to destroy the data tap installed nearby. We need to lock down the area and secure the device at all costs.
This isn't actually as good as it could have been, mind is. You can see here we have another building between us and the objective, and I'm not sure if that's another building or if it's linked onto this one. I think it could be a sort of a large sort of bending shape like this. In which case, it's going to be a bit of a problem for Church, just as we would have liked to have popped him in cover at the start and let him just overwatch his way through the mission. But we'll start by just moving Yash up to here. Oh, and here's something within the darkness there. So actually, it looks like maybe it'll just pop Church on the roof of this building, which if so would be nice.
That's affirmative.
As I think that's actually 2 separate buildings, just from what we can see here. And yeah, it is. So we're going to bring Slick just up as far as we can.
Rolling out.
And then we'll probably move Maestro just to this half cover here.
Got it.
Church, we'll move him last, I think. But for now, we'll pop Jackdaw in this heavy cover.
Don't worry, I'll be there. Blah blah. Fuck.
And then I'm not quite sure what we'll do with Drizzy. I think we'll stack him up next to Jackdaw, ready to move for a flank next turn, while Church will just set up over here.
Yeah, okay, hold on. God dang, Tony. Shut up!
All of my soldiers seem to be in a bit of a temper this week, which is a little unorthodox, but there you go. And thankfully that's revealed the next pod there. So we know that we've got codexes here, we've got a mech pod here, so we don't know where the gatekeeper pod is, and the gatekeeper pod, of course, is the scary one. So a max damage hit will kill this, a crit will kill this, so we've got about a 72-73% chance of killing this outright. Certainly I think this is a perfectly reasonable way to open up a fight, so we're just going to start with that. And yeah, that's just one shot that, which is a really good way to open a fight.
Boom, motherfucker!
Somewhat concerningly there, the rest of the pod doesn't seem to have triggered, and I'm not quite sure why that is. I'm also slightly reluctant to move up here, as we know that next enemy pod is fairly close. So we want to be just a little cautious with how we approach them. And indeed, given the health of that device there, which is still reasonably intact, I'm wondering if it might be better to have a quick turn of Overwatch here and try and lure them into us. I think what we'll probably do is we'll move Yash up, and that way he can use his lightning hands and still throw the mimic beacon after we've triggered this pod.
Good copy. Moving on target.
Hopefully it won't come to using the mimic beacon, but just in case it does, it's always good to have it on hand. And I thought I saw a fuel tank in this alley here, but it might be a bit further back. And that looks like it's a fairly solid barrier there, so we shouldn't trigger anything by moving Jackdaw over here. Or at least that's the goal. I think what we'll do here is we'll move Slick up to this half cover actually. Just so that he's visible by both codexes.
Moving on target location.
Although I suppose it doesn't make a difference because Jackdaw's in half cover there. So we'll start by demolishing this cover here. Hopefully that won't blow out anything behind it, as we don't want to accidentally trigger the second pod. And Drizzy here, we're going to take this because he has just the highest chance of killing this. This works out at about a 91-92% chance of killing it. So we're definitely going to go with that. And predictably we've done the absolute minimum damage needed to not kill it, but there we go. And here we could go with a staggering shot for a guaranteed kill, but let's make decisions about that just in a moment. First we'll go for a lightning hands on this guy. I don't expect it to kill, but it'd be nice if it does. In the event it's just missed.
I got nothing.
So let's just take the shot with Drizzy here. And we'll make this a staggering shot. Doesn't put a whole lot of damage on, but obviously it's good just for the extra aim, and we didn't need to do a whole lot of damage to it in any case. And what we'll do here is we're going to move Maestro up to here, and that way hopefully the Codex will choose to move up and cast its area of effect weapon jam. And that's good because firstly Yash's pistol can't be jammed, but also Maestro has plenty of backup weapons if we need those. So we're just going to pop him in Overwatch. I think we'll probably do the same for Jackdaw.
For God's sake.
And yeah, we'll do the same with Yash as well.
Covering now. They got me flanked.
And as we'd hoped for there, these guys have just moved into... well, the Codex has moved up and just jammed these guys' weapons, which isn't a problem at all. Although that is taking a bit more damage than I'd like, I must say. So I think we'll start by going for a quick crit from Slick here. Hopefully this won't trigger that other pod. If it does, we may have problems.
I've got eyes on
Somehow it's triggered the pod, right? We have problems. And he's moved to Overwatch. So now, frustratingly, I'd like to get a blaster bomb on these guys. That's what I'd really want to do here, but I'm not quite as familiar as I should be really with the range on the Shredstorm cannon, but to me that looks like a pretty substantial distance. So what we may do is just bring Maestro to here,
Closing on target position
and
now.
we'll see if we can use the Shredstorm cannon to not only put the hurt on these guys, but we can't quite blow out the fuel tank as well. Right. So we'll just go for the big damage hit here.
Shredded.
And I think we got all of them there, did we? Yeah. Car exploded, fuel tank exploded, so that's gone pretty nicely, all things considered. We'll actually have a quick look here with Church. Yes, we can see him with Church, so we'll just put a wee bit of damage on here. And of course, the big benefit of that is the Overwatch has been removed, so we can now freely move up and deploy the Mimic Beacon. And we're just tile hunting to see which tiles that Mech can see, to make sure we're not deploying it to somewhere that's not particularly useful. So just there, next to actually we'll just double check that. Next to the Codex's corpse, yeah, he can see there. So we'll just deploy the Mimic Beacon there. And in the meantime, if this hits, it'll kill it. So we've got a 96% chance, which is obviously pretty good. If it doesn't work, we may be in a bit of trouble, but I expect it.
Nailed him.
And what I'd like to do here is I'd love to move Jackdaw up just to this spot so she could be ready to attack next turn, but given we've already had a few line of sight issues through these walls, I'd be reluctant to move that far just in case we've got a gatekeeper or something riding there. So for now, we'll just move her up to this spot. We'll move her up to, yeah, this spot here. And we'll follow that up by moving Drizzy just to a spot here. You can't quite get a shot off on, but that's not a big deal. We'll just go with an Overwatch with him.
Got it covered.
And he's chosen to retreat there, so what I'm thinking will happen here is we'll move here and discover that gatekeeper pod that I've been worrying about.
Move into position.
And of course the best way to check for that is to move up to a... Well, actually I was going to say a safe position, but I don't know if that is safe, because potentially that might lead to some line of sight there. I suppose we can throw this from within here, can we? We could move a little further, I suppose, just to here. That'd probably be safe. Yep. So you can see here we can get a reasonable bit of vision out if we just aim it sort of right here. There we go. And we haven't spotted anything there, which is odd. It also doesn't appear to have actually revealed the area here. So, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. But in any case, we are approaching the end of our recording time here, so as usual, we'll put a short break in the video. Please don't go anywhere, and I will see you in just a moment. Hello and welcome back. So we're just going to quickly reload. Actually, I don't know if we're going to reload. Actually, we'll put him on watch. I think what we'll do is we'll move. We'll put Slick on the roof. Actually, we'll just bring him up next to Yash there.
Got it. Moving.
Maestro. I think we'll start with a reloading him and then probably Overwatch.
Reloaded.
Church will definitely go with a reload here.
Alright, let's do this.
And we'll bring him up in preparation for what will almost certainly be the rocket launcher next turn. Which I think leaves just Maestro, Yash and Kool-Aid. So we'll start by putting Maestro in Overwatch. I don't expect that to hit anything. Yash will go for a pistol Overwatch, which I do. Kool-Aid, we will move up just probably just this tile here, as I think that's fairly safe. And then we'll reload him in preparation for an attack next turn.
Let's do this.
So we're just going to move Maestro to here.
Moving out.
And I'm a little reluctant to double move him. I want to get him into this heavy cover by the door, but I think we'll move everyone else first, just make certain of how safe this is. So we'll start by bringing Yash to here.
Moving on target location. Menace 1-5, we've got a line on the target. Move to protect that gear at all costs.
Slick, we're going to bring just over to here.
That's affirmative.
And I don't know if this is going to reveal that pod. I suspect it will. No, seem to be doing okay just for the moment. And Church, we're going to take a slightly risky move here and bring him just to the roof.
Wait, really?
Yes, Church, really. We will we'll move Jackdaw up just behind Slick there. And I think we'll throw the other battle scanner here. And that's worrying because we still haven't revealed that third pod. So I don't know where they are now, because we know the mech retreated this way and there's not a whole lot of space left you could go into. Certainly I don't think it's going to be in those tiles there. Which means it's probably around here. In which case I've just moved most of my squad away from position where they'll be able to engage into one where they can't.
Locked and loaded.
But in any case, that means we can safely bring Maestro up to here, I think.
Roger that.
And we'll bring Drizzy up to here,
On the move.
and just pop him in Overwatch. So, moment of truth, let's throw this door open and find out what's over here.
Moving to designated coordinates.
And I'm almost certain at this point that it's not in that corner. I don't think that's big enough to house all four of them, if nothing else. I'm happy with Maestro there. Next turn, we'll probably have him move to the roof and prime the frost bomb. I don't know if we'll put that on the gatekeeper or not. Gatekeepers, I think, don't take the full AP reduction from it. Although I suppose we could maybe try combining it with a staggering shot from Kool-Aid. In the meantime, we're going to make a terrible, terrible decision and move Slick up to the fuel tank. And what I really hope is a move that won't come back to bite us. And we'll just bring Jackdaw back over here. While Church... I don't want to put him right there, but I think that might be the best spot for him. So... we're going to risk it, and we're going to move there. And I really, really hope this pays off. And doesn't reveal anything. And I think we've gotten away with it there, yeah.
I'm on it.
Slick, we're going to have hunker down because I don't want him firing low accuracy shots right next to that fuel tank.
Holding.
Maestro will do the same thing, actually. Jackdaw, we may as well just pop on Overwatch. And Drizzy will definitely go on Overwatch. And I don't know whether that's because that's collapsed from the flame or we've got something nearby there. At any rate, we have used both of our scouting options now, so...
Move!
We'll move Haley up to here, fling this door open, see if we can spot anything. And we'll follow that up with bringing Yash over here. Still haven't spotted anything there, right? This is getting a little tense now for me.
Orders confirmed. On the move.
And Slick. Okay, Slick potentially could move to this cover here, so we'll do that next turn. We'll
Moving over.
oh, I didn't mean to put him on Overwatch there.
On Overwatch.
That makes sense to me.
We'll put everyone on Overwatch. Next time we're going to have Slick move to this car here and hopefully draw them out. And if not, at least we'll have a slightly better idea of where they are. So from here we can probably safely get a Maestro up onto the roof here. Alternatively, we could bring him up to here at this heavy cover. But then he's one of the ones we do want to be getting shot due to the sheer weight of his armour, so I think we will just pop him on the roof here. Right. And so we know all these tiles here are safe now, so I think we'll actually we'll leave the two snipers on high ground. Drizzy will pop here.
Understood. Moving out.
And Jackdaw, we'll have her just move up next to Slick.
Time to go.
Okay.
And we'll follow this up with Overwatch.
Moving to Overwatch. Come get some.
At this point, I suspect that pod isn't moving. We've had a couple of times before where enemy pods just refuse to move. And I think that's what we're dealing with here, so I'm just looking for some nice low cover for Slick that's not right next to a fuel tank. And a little frustratingly, we can't get anyone onto this high ground here, which is nice because I'd like them to be on high ground cover. So what we'll do is we're just out of range here. We'll move Maestro to the other side of this car. And we'll move Slick. We'll stack him up on Maestro and we'll prepare to just creep forward with them over the coming turns. Drizzy, I'm going to leave him on the high ground for now.
Moving out.
Just to have him on Overwatch. I don't think the enemy pods are moving at this point. And with that in mind, actually, we should probably consider moving Church over to this side.
Okay,
Just for the uninterrupted sightline.
Closing on
And we'll
target
quickly
position
leapfrog
now.
up with him and Yash. And we know that tile's safe now, so we'll just pop Church on the end one.
Round and round we go.
Overwatch.
Then what?
Got it covered.
And that pod's definitely not moving. So we'll start by putting Maestro in this appallingly poor quality cover here.
Headed there now.
Good news is the car has already exploded.
I've got eyes on an advent position.
Right. For that gatekeeper, and there's no cover at all for Drizzy here, unfortunately. But even without the high ground bonus, actually, we could put him, I think we could put him in this high cover here and still staggering shot it. And then combined with a frost bomb, that would probably take that out of place. So that's what we'll do. It's only a 99%, right. Cross your fingers for me, please.
It hit the plate.
And it's staggered there, which is good, so we'll get the frost bomb out now. Is there any way we can get all three of them there? No. So we'll just take out the we'll take these two out of play for the moment.
Grenade out.
And then we'll most likely move in with a blaster bomb from Slick, once we found him some really inadequate cover. although not too inadequate actually, as it doesn't seem to be particularly good for him to go. Actually, that's a thought. Does Church have shot in that heavy mech? That's a good enough shot, I think. We can get away with that. Certainly we could probably back it up with a shot from that. Yeah, actually what we'll do is we'll blast a bomb this area here. Just make sure that it's going to do enough damage. Yeah, that's fine. So blast a bomb that area. Take out the mech, just in order to make sure that it's not able to fire its micro-missile payload and put wounds on our squad. And then next turn we'll worry about mopping up this gatekeeper here. And thinking about it, I probably should have frozen the trooper there actually, although it doesn't make a difference, they both died from that. Right. And Church has trace around, so we're going to take out the heavy mech here. Or not. Right, that's not good. But we do have a backup plan. We will... We'll go for a shot with the sniper rifle here. And I don't like the fact that this is an 83% shot, but in an emergency we can probably back it up with Jackdaw or a grenade from Slick. Although hopefully we'll just kill it here.
Target disabled.
Right. And Slick, this might be a bad idea actually, but we're going to put Slick just here.
On my way.
So that if that thing does unfreeze and have an action this turn, it'll hopefully take a crack at him rather than putting an explosive shot on these two, or using a psychic power. We'll also... I don't know if you can stack staggering shots, but we'll try it. Oh, we've poisoned it, which is nice.
Kill this thing.
And I don't know whether that's because you can stack action points or not, but we're doing okay here. And I think we'll follow up with a double grenade just to shred as much armor as possible. This is the last enemy. There are only 9 on this map, barring a reinforcement. And that's down to 1 armor now. We're going to probably just kill this with raw DPS at this point. Although we could go with a rocket. Though that wouldn't do as much damage, so... We'll go with the sniper shot here. Hopefully this will kill it. As you can see, its ridiculous defense is causing us huge problems. They're not that huge, thankfully.
It's fucking bullshit!
And we'll start with a lightning hands shot from Yash. We'll follow that up with a regular pistol shot, as I think you can... Yeah. Just put a bit of damage on it this way. And we'll follow that up with... hopefully this will kill it, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't. We have plenty of extra damage on hand.
That is not good.
And we'll start by trying with Haley. I thoroughly expect both of these shots will miss, but if they do, it's no big deal. We'll still have Slick on hand to deliver guaranteed damage if needed. Although I think that's Haley crit every shot she's had now, which is pretty impressive all things considered.
Status confirmed. Mission accomplished.
Pretty good mission by and large. Pretty good mission. Don't think there's any major disappointments in that, to be honest. Would have been nice if we hadn't had to waste so much time in the middle and that pod had actually been moving, but playing recklessly on missions where you don't have to play recklessly is something I try and avoid, obviously, so... It took a while, but we got there, and that's the main thing. I'm not sure if anyone got promotions from that. It'd be nice if they did. I suspect Jackdaw will probably have one. But again, it's not the end of the world if she doesn't. I'm a little worried here because this loading screen is taking a while. There we are. There's obviously been quite a large expansion for XCom 2 released recently. I think there was a patch to go in hand in hand with that, with the release of the Long War mod. So it's possible some of our mods are performing a little weirdly, but we'll just hope that hasn't happened.
Casualty reported, Commander. I hope all of our deployments go this well.
And we've got a promotion for Slick here, which is great because that makes him a colonel. For this, Rupture is obviously nice, but Saturation Fire can bust cover. So, given that Slick is our cover buster extraordinaire, I think that's the one we're going to go for. Well, Drizzy has finally reached the rank of Major. Escape and Evade might be a useful one, I think, just as a chance to give us a bit of a backup scouting and also to ensure that he can get into positions to flank from and get the full bonus from his Harrier where possible. Deep Reserves, not so great, as obviously we don't want him to be the one taking hits, so Escape and Evade is the one I think we'll go for here.
You and your crew have dealt another serious blow to the aliens' efforts today, Commander. Impressive work.
I'm just wondering if that'll be counted retrospectively there. I doubt it, but it's not the end of the world if it is. And 119 intel is always nice to have. The thing I want to do is I want to have a very, very quick look at Kiko's abilities. As something that me and his author have been discussing is maybe whether to respec him for explosive action, just to ensure that he could get even more Overwatch fire out in terms where he's using it. Fire for Effect's obviously quite nice, but it's really an ambush power, so this may be one where we will just pop him in and respec him to explosive action there. So we'll head quickly to the, is it the Guerrilla Tactics School, I think? Or is it the Advanced Warfare Center? And we'll see how long that's going to take. 5 days, so that's actually not all that long, all things considered. And we can get some bonus supplies here, and that's really the only option we have right now. There's not a whole lot else we can be doing.
New course.
So we'll grab those supplies. And then, once we finish the Avatar autopsy is probably when we'll finish this video. Well, actually, I think there's a cutscene to go with that, so we may put a break in the video here, so please don't go anywhere. I'll see you in just for a moment as we get the Avatar autopsy and then gather these supplies. Hello and welcome back. So we're just going to start scanning this disabled truck to gather supplies from it as we await the Avatar autopsy.
It won't be easy, but I think it's the only option we have at this point.
Agreed. We must inform the commander immediately.
Go right ahead.
Commander, Central, the Shadow Chamber has completed its analysis of the Avatar's DNA. It has identified the genetic sequence necessary to travel through the Psionic Gate.
Perfect. We can finally shut this Avatar project down for good.
However, the gate requires more than a mere transmission of genetic data.
The sequence has to be part of a live subject. The key only works in lockstep with the signal.
We don't have time to find another one of those things, let alone capture it.
No. That part we can handle. We make our own.
You're serious?
Quite. Though the specimen before us is damaged beyond repair, it has provided us with its complete genetic blueprint. We already possess an unaltered Avatar template from the Forge facility. That, combined with the genetic material we recovered at the Black Site, should allow us to replicate the procedure here.
So, what's the catch?
Yes, that. Without an elder consciousness driving it, the new Avatar would remain as lifeless as the one before us. While I can develop its body, I cannot create the mind to drive it.
But I can. In a way. By manipulating the new avatar, via the psionic network.
You want to operate one of these things? By remote control?
Not exactly. And definitely not me.
Interfacing directly with their network would cause severe, if not fatal, trauma to an unprepared central nervous system. As it stands, we only know of one individual who has survived that kind of ordeal.
That was different. The stasis suit.
Created the perfect interface to the network, one tailored to your specific biology, Commander. Of any human candidate, you are the most likely to survive the connection.
Most likely is not good enough, Doctor.
It is the only answer I can give you, and our only option to traverse the alien portal.
We need to come up with a game plan before we charge through the enemy's front door. Which will give you some time to think about this, Commander.
This specimen, this being is something else entirely. Something beyond anything we have ever seen. And yet somehow, our troops once again prevailed.
This is the Avatar Autopsy, codenamed Primarch, completed August 30th. We have dedicated the entirety of our efforts to discovering the purpose of the Avatar Directive, and now it seems we're finally gaining ground on the aliens. With that said, I was shocked to see that our troops not only encountered what was apparently a fully responsive Avatar specimen, but I engaged them in combat and was subsequently dispatched with only moderate difficulty. With all that went into its creation, somehow I suspected that the Avatar would be a foe unlike any other, something perhaps even beyond our capabilities to encounter, or rather, counter. Initially it appeared as though my assumptions were wrong. Humanoid in form, the physical attributes of the Avatar specimen are, on the surface, wholly unremarkable. It has a musculature system not all unlike a young adult human, with no obvious genetic adulterations to enhance its physical strength or agility. At this point, I could only surmise that the aliens focused the entirety on what lies beneath the Avatar's seemingly ordinary structure. As I continued my analysis of the Avatar specimen, including a rapid genetic sequencing aided by the Shadow Chamber, I discovered my earlier conclusions could not be further from the truth. This Avatar, what was left with it, is not whole in the developmental sense. Although portions of the missing genetic links have been filled with what is undoubtedly elder DNA, there are still gaps, incomplete sequences that may leave the creature unable to fully sustain its own power. It is now my firm belief that we have yet to encounter a fully developed Avatar, and its potential capabilities at full strength leave me deeply concerned. Signed, R. Tiger. And I think that's the last of the Shadow projects we've done there, so I'm free to head over to the research labs
Commander?
now. We haven't got a whole lot left. The psionics, which we're not going to be using, and the Gatekeeper Autopsy, which, to be honest, we also aren't going to be using at this stage. It unlocks the final tier of psiamps, and obviously therefore psionics only, so it doesn't really make a whole world of difference to us at this point.
I've started to wonder how the Advent administration views our current band of renegades. Do they see us as an actual threat, or more of a nuisance?
Priority message for the commander coming through on a secure channel, sir.
On screen.
Sir, it's coming from the Advent network tower.
You heard me. He's taking a big risk contacting us like this.
Hello, Commander. You and your crew are to be commended. Your efforts in rebuilding the Resistance network and uncovering the truth about the Avatar project have been admirable. I only wish I had better news to report.
When does he ever?
Advent is not taking the death of an elder lightly, and in turn have greatly accelerated the final stages of their Avatar project. A plan is now in place for the rapid processing of all non-essential human life, to begin immediately. Very soon, Advent's speaker will announce a breakthrough in gene therapy, a final treatment for the human condition. Billions will flock to gene therapy clinics across the globe. They will never return. I have managed to secure tactical data and access codes to the Advent network tower. The speaker's address will be broadcast live to a global audience via this facility. The whole of Advent's network will be listening. It is this hubris that we must use against them. The information I am sending you should allow Dr. Tigan and Chief Engineer Shen to take control of the transmission and disrupt their entire network from within. Though my hope is that this disruption will confuse the enemy's forces long enough to allow your final assault a chance of success, I ask one more thing of you. Take what you have learned. Let the world know what is happening here. Wake them up. Broadcast the truth. Before there is no one left to listen. It seems we are both out of time. Farewell, Commander.
New objective added.
Well, this is it then. So, the next mission will be to launch an infiltration mission on the main Advent network tower, attempting a shutdown of the global Advent communication network and disrupting Advent's worldwide control.
I'm keeping tabs on all our operations, Commander. Our people are standing by for your orders.
So it's been almost 6 months to the day at this point, since we began this campaign now. And
we have the target site locked in, Commander. This is our chance to strike at Advent's heart. Once we control the network tower, we can finally show the world what the aliens are doing. There's no turning back after this.
so what we've got here is it's not the final mission. There are 2 missions. It's a 2-parter essentially. Firstly, we need to hack this Advent tower, and then once everyone is in disarray, we'll be able to go through the portal using the new avatar and take the fight to the elders themselves, essentially. So this will be our mission next time. It'll likely be a fairly short video if all goes according to plan, as we will try and stealth it. Obviously we don't want to be going in guns blazing as far as possible in the most heavily fortified of all of Advent's facilities. You also see here there's some unusual stuff for this mission. You can actually spend intel to increase your chances on the mission. So if you can have all your soldiers start concealed even if they normally wouldn't. You can take an extra soldier on the mission. You can give all your soldiers immunity from 2 attacks, which is great. You can give all your soldiers squad sight. We're not going to do that just yet. We are just going to finish scanning. And that makes no difference at all at this point. And we'll retrain Kiko in a moment. Once we've collected this,
Strategic resource located.
we're going to head to the black market.
Avenger plotting new
And at this
course.
point, we're just going to sell everything. We won't sell everything, but we'll see what we can build with it. Hellweave, we won't be using that. Research, we won't be doing that. All these things we might find a use for. Lyrium crystals, might find a use for those. Actually, we'll just we'll have a quick look. We'll make sure there's nothing else we can get from the Guerrilla Tactics School first.
Commander, the lab is currently idle.
Or the
We're
proving
wasting
grounds.
valuable time and resources by not conducting any research. Please consider providing us with a directive as soon as possible.
And we may as well have that at this point. I don't think there's anything else we can build.
Just give the word and I'll get started, Commander.
In terms of heavy weapons at this point, without Illyrium cores, but never mind.
We noticed early on that the Avenger has a tendency to dip forward when the power core is under load without the engines engaged. At first I thought maybe it was a stabilizer issue, but now I'm starting to think it's all just part of the alien's grand design. The core itself may not be entirely stable, which would explain why the aliens went through so much trouble to isolate it in the bow. New orders, Commander?
So, again, we're going to sell everything at this point. There's nothing in particular we really want, other than just materials. We're going to be basically, as far as possible, getting personal combat sims, getting weapon upgrades and things, making sure that we're going in just at full strength as far as possible. So, actually, I'll probably do that between videos, just because it'll take a while to actually do. So, we'll pass the time with the Resistance HQ for the moment.
Setting course for West Asia.
Just gather some intel until the supply drop comes in. We'll collect that.
Priority message coming through, Commander. Putting it on screen now.
And we've gathered a few supplies there. And we'll grab these.
Plotting new course.
And then that'll be the end of the video. Next time we'll open up, I'll show you what I'm purchasing. We'll outfit our whole squad as far as possible. Although, actually, we may have time for one more guerrilla operation at this point. Is there anything that's going to give supplies? No. For the first time, we're just going to skip the guerrilla operations here. As we're so close to the end game now that it just no longer matters. So, that's going to be it for this week. We'll kick off next week where I'll show you the stuff I'm purchasing, both from the engineering division and from the black market, as we'll buy some stuff from there, but I'm just going to flog everything in the meantime. So I hope you've enjoyed this part. Indeed, I hope you've enjoyed the campaign up to this point, now that it's very much drawn to a close. And I hope you'll join me next time when we take on the first part of the final set of missions. So until then, my name has been Red Star Rocket. Thank you very much for watching, and I will hope to see you again next time. Until then, take care and good night.